that are having subtopics. Those subtopics, when we were making the concept map, we were picking those subject subtopics, and then they are rearranged and then combined, and then they are and then paraphrase.
I
So
see what. Yeah.
is there any difficulties? Is there any difference, or it remains the same? Like those texts having subtopics and those one that are not having.
That's okay. I see what you're saying, Rukia. So if I understand, let me see if I got the question well, because it was a very long question. So let me see if I got it well. So what you're asking me, yeah, is if there is a
I was
difference.
asking, does the summary remain the same if some texts are having subtopics,
That's right.
and if only the other text is having only the title?
Uh-huh.
Maybe the title talks about child labor, and then the whole text is like the author may either be narrating a story, or but some other texts may be having some subtopics, like if you talk drug abuse, no, then substance abuse, like maybe the kind of abuses are either different. So
That's
it
right.
goes down like that.
Yeah, and
So I was
and you're
asking,
asking if there's a difference in summaries, right, Rukia? If there's a difference
yeah,
between,
I think
right?
there will not be any problem. Maybe I was asking, you can summarize. It doesn't matter whether that one is having subtopic or not. It depends your summary writing arrangement.
That's exactly that's your response right there, Rukia. So no, there's no difference. The only difference is that the ones that have subtopics, like actually like clearly demarcated, Rukia, like they actually have like the subtitles. Those are just easier to summarize many times, right? Just because they already, the author is already telling us, like, here I'm speaking about this, here I'm speaking about this, so you know that, okay, each, you'll know that the larger topic has been already broken down by the author into smaller parts, and so that it's just easier to recompose your summary. That's what it is basically. Yeah. So
Yeah,
there's no
basically, I
difference.
come to understand that the one that's having the subtopics is very much easier than the other one, because already the author has subdivided some of the
Yeah,
content, and you can easily pick, and maybe
that's right.
you can do your work, rather
That's right.
than that one very large. You find out the main topic, you are looking paragraph to paragraph. It will be very much difficult, but it depends the kind of text you are told to summarize. Yeah,
Exactly.
I understand.
Exactly, Rukia. Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly it. So it's just easier for you. Exactly. That's what I think. I think that as a reader, it's good when authors do the division for you, because they it's easier to read the text than to have
And
to
then,
read. Tell me, Rukia.
yeah, and then like some keys, there was some guideline on concept map, because you are told if you want to go hierarchy of that text, you need to circle and then use arrows. Maybe myself, I was not in a position to do all those things in my desktop, because it was difficult. I could not
I
be
know,
able,
Rukia.
because, but what I've done is I just wrote number one up to 10, maybe some of the main points, how, and according to the to the ascending order of the text and the meaning, and then I just paraphrase. I've not even done circling either rectangular shape. That
No,
will
Rukia.
that one will that one even have will it affect the meaning? I don't think it will affect, but I was asking, is it necessary?
Okay, so I'll start from the first question that you asked me, Rukia, which is I understand that it's really hard to do on a computer, like the concept mapping. So this is why I was saying it's actually easier if you just do it by hand. Yeah, just do it by hand.
Mm.
You can do it by hand, like just write it like on a piece of paper, right? Like if you have like when you take
Oh,
notes.
you scan.
Yeah, and then you just take a photo of it for me and just send it. That's
Maybe
perfectly
next
fine.
time I will do
Next
that.
time. Yeah, don't worry,
Yeah.
no worries, no
Okay.
worries. Yeah, next time it's perfectly fine. You were asking the second question you asked me though, which is a really good one, is whether it affects meaning. That's what you were saying, right, Rukia? So
Yeah.
my belief, but this is my belief. Some people might tell you, they might think differently from me, but it is my belief that concept mapping helps us a lot when we're taking notes. And the reason for that is because it helps us see the connections between ideas, or the disconnections between ideas, right? So let's say an author is arguing two different two different ideas, right, Rukia? So then you are able to see how these two ideas, like the way they connect and the way they are different at the same time. So if you're able to see that visually, like if you're able to see that mapped out, sometimes that is more useful than linear, than just like bullet points on a piece of paper. Do you see what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
it's easier sometimes to see the moments of the way the text is connecting things, basically. And so that helps us in summaries sometimes, right? When you're trying to summarize a text, if you're able to say, well, there's three main ideas, this idea is different from this, A is different from B, and B is different from C, but C and let's say C and A are the same, right? So that helps us seeing those patterns, yeah, visually can help us summarize a text in less words, because we can see connections between things. That's why I suggest concept mapping. It doesn't mean that you absolutely have to do concept mapping. That was a suggestion that I had, and that's one model or one technique of note making that I use a lot. For example, I use that technique a lot, and I think it's very useful. But it's not the only one. It's just one possible approach.
And then, can I ask another one?
Yeah, of course, go ahead, and then after this question, we'll just
Uh,
start with what we had planned.
I was
Go, Rukia.
saying maybe for the concept map, it is very like the one we are doing now. The other day, concept of race, and then the concept of was the race was the main topic, and
That's
then
right.
there was subtopics that was concept as biological, and then the other concept maybe that there were two subtopics.
Yes.
If you don't have in your text any subtopics, how are you going to come up with the concept map? Because you are going to find out within the paragraph
Hmm.
or the main topic, the main, I mean, point. That
That's it.
main point, which is your first sentence that you are going to pick, you take it as a subtopic and then you take it as a concept map. Is that logic, or how are you going to put that? Are you going to pick as words or as sentence when you want to
That's
put it in the concept?
that's a really good question, Rukia. So when you don't have subtopics, basically, how do you pick your topics and subtopics in a concept map? That's the question, and that's a great question. So the way you would do it is actually concept mapping is a technique of note making, not note taking. So what I would say is you first of all, what you would do when you look at a text is you take notes, right? You take notes, but you don't map them yet. You just take notes at the beginning, Rukia, right? Just the same way you did, like you just linearly write bullet points, right? So whatever you find important from the text. Once you have made all these notes, now you have lots of, like, just lots of ideas, lots of things that you took from the text. You will be able to see, once you have those notes, you'll be able to see the ideas and the main ideas that are most present, in the text, so things which are repeated most times, right? Or you will have been able to see the way that the author is arguing his idea or her idea. So those are the key points. Those are the key points that will help you. Then you can take and map them. So what you need, basically, what I'm saying is, what you need to do is you first need to take notes normally, the way you just already do. Yeah, you just take notes the way you already do, and then you take from those notes, you look at what you wrote down, and then based on those notes, you can map out concepts. So you can say, okay, the author was saying that race was understood as something biological. The author said that race was used as something that was an idea, just ideological. Okay, those are two different things: race ideological, race biological, right? So then what you would do is you have race, main topic, and then you would have biological, ideological. You see what I'm saying, Rukia? So you
Yeah,
basically
yeah, yeah.
you use
I'm
the
getting.
notes, that you took, and then you see which words are most important, most prevalent in your notes, and you use those words to map out the concepts. what I would suggest, Rukia, is you just, if you want to try it next time, try it. Send me send me the picture of your concept map, and then we can, if you think it's helpful to you, I can help. Like we can do a lot of practice on it. Like it's something that you, the more you do it, the more you do like concept mapping, the more familiar you get with it, right? So the better your concept maps will be. But they do help, I think, Rukia, and this goes to your point.
Maybe we can practice one that is not having subtopics in
Yeah,
a session.
we could. Yep, that's a
One,
good point.
because we have already seen one with subtopics. It was very easy. There were no any
Yeah,
problem. But
you're
the
right.
one without subtopics, and then looking those words from one paragraph, you pick those the most words that is repeated. You take it as a major one. So I was requesting if we can be doing one text
Yep, that's
for
that's a really,
revision purposes. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, no, that's
because
an
that is
excellent suggestion.
the part I'm not understanding very well. And
Okay,
yeah,
excellent
I know
suggestion.
I've tried now, but I need some support. Yeah.
Yep, that's an excellent suggestion. We can have a session on that, on a text without subtopics, and use that to do a concept map. So that way you'll see the difference between them. That's a really excellent point. I'll arrange that with you. We can have one session on that. Okay, now seeing that Keen also has been waiting patiently for us to start the session, so I guess we'll start. Chipchumba, I still don't see Chipchumba, Keen. Hopefully she will join us at some point. Um, what I'll do is I'll begin to share my screen, so you'll see a document popping up in a second. All right. Can you both see it, Ruki and Keen? Can you see the screen?
Yes, I can
Yeah.
see it.
Perfect. Thank you both.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you,
can
Keen, and thank
see.
you, Rukia.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you, both of you. Okay. So these are a few texts, right? That Keen, you might be familiar with because you've seen them already. Rukia, because you haven't been part of Group One, you haven't seen them necessarily, but that's okay. That's completely fine. So these were a few texts that we were trying to rearrange and put back into order, right? And so, as you can tell, I've highlighted a few things already inside this first text. So let's start with text one, maybe for the moment. Let's start with this first text. Does any of you want to read, Rukia or Keen? I see Keen, you're unmuted. Keen, do you wanna read the first paragraph from my horizon to Peking?
Yeah, let me read.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
My horizon lighted. I see an old woman. Who is she? Where is she from? Benta. Over the end of the bow, lying behind her. She emptied into a plate bag the leftover of a red rice. Her similar face tells of them. Pleasant day. She has a just heart. She wanted to take back profit of this to her family life, perhaps Odin, Driongo, or Dambiki. This is a new word.
Yeah, don't worry, Keen. These are so these are very hard. I think these are just locations. They're just locations or
Yeah.
cities
Yeah,
in
it is the
Senegal.
term of their language that they are using about their mother tongue.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
there are places in Senegal, I think. So
Yeah.
don't worry about them. I can't pronounce them either. It's completely okay. Don't worry about them. Thank you though. Thank you for the reading. Uh, Rukia, do you want to continue from standing upright, or I can continue, or and then you can do the next paragraph, whatever you want. Yeah,
Okay.
go for it.
Standing upright, her eyes meeting my disapproving look. She mutters between the teeth reddened by cola nuts. Lady, death is just as beautiful as life has been. Alas, it is the same story on the 8th and 40th days when those who have learned belatedly make up for lost time. Light attire showing off slim waistlines, prominent backside, the new brassiere or the one bought at the second-hand market, chewing sticks wedged between teeth, white or flowered shawl, heavy smell of incense and of gongo, loud voices, strident laughters. And yet we are told in the Quran that on the third day the dead body swells and feels its storm. We are told that on the eighth it passed, and we are also told that on the fourth day it is stripped. What then is the past? What then is the significance of those jojoyos, institutionalized festivities that accompanies our prayers for God's mercy? Who has came out of self-interest? Who has came to quench his own thirst? Who has came for the sake of mercy? Who has came so that he may remember?
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And sorry
Keen,
for macro.
tell me, Keen.
Yeah. And this summary, me, I've done it.
I know,
I
Keen, but
yeah.
I know you've done it. But don't worry,
Okay.
we'll talk about it in a second.
Okay.
Keen, do you want to read the
Okay.
last paragraph again, or do you want me to read the last paragraph? Go for it. You're more than welcome to read the last paragraph, Keen, if you want.
Generally, the house empty. The small of the status is sweet and food blending are the tribbles in the air. Ambulatia and Asian collant nuts spattered out here and they are having a lifted red tenses. My title expecting kept it with a such pan bentex care and the blanket oil stains on the waist beads of the cruel pepper. What balance sheet for a day?
Thank you, Keen. Thank you so much for the reading. So, okay, first
Micro.
of all,
Yes,
Rukia.
Professor.
Yes,
I was
please.
saying, is it necessary I go back to my group because some of those things, I think, are they in the same level, or I can still be with this group?
No, you can still be with this group, Rukia, because we're gonna be looking at summaries now. So you're welcome to stay, Rukia. It's for me it's fine if you stay. If you want to join in the later group, you can join in the later group, but it's up to you.
Maybe the what you are giving out will remain the same because I thought I have missed something. This has already been in the same because Kim was saying I've done it.
Yeah, because Keen has done the summary of it. Keen has already done the summary. But don't worry, we're doing an exercise together now that is good for everyone. So don't worry.
Sawa. Okay.
No problem. So okay. So first of all, I have to say that I wanted to say that. Sorry. So the first thing we want to do is we want to see if there's any specific words in this text that you would have that pose difficulties to you when you're not sure of its meaning. Are there any such words in this text? Either Keen or Rukia, whoever one between the two of you wants to go first. Is there any word specifically in the text that you weren't sure of the meaning of, apart from Ukam, Tiare, all the localities? These of course are just localities in Senegal, so of course we don't know them. I don't know them either. But
okay, matters. She matters between the teeth reddened by cola nuts. Matters MU
where is it?
TERS. Yeah. The first sentence, second paragraph.
Yes, matters between.
She matters.
Based on just a sentence, Rukia, what do you think it means? She matters between teeth reddened by cola nuts.
Matters. I think like somebody who is wanted to laugh and open his mouth.
Yeah.
She matters between the teeth reddened by cola nuts. She matters maybe open in laughter. Someone who wants.
It could be, Rukia. It's definitely a verb, right? It's definitely a verb. We know that much, right, Rukia? Do you know?
Maybe that cola nuts inside. It is inside her teeth, and
Yes,
when
that's right.
you open your mouth, something inside the teeth is seen. So it is like just someone who passes into laughter.
Yeah, it could be it could be laughs. Keen, do you know the word? Do you know more or less, or do you want to try inferring what the meaning is?
Yeah, in this sentence, it said that my look is she's a matters between the teeth and ready in by colonize. It means that this person has a somebody which has been eaten by a something or a food, and it has been a something which notifies for his teeth inside for it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so she definitely has had and that's the thing. She's had cola nuts, so she's doing something with her mouth that shows us that
yeah, and
she's eaten
she has
cola
been,
nuts, right?
yeah, colonized.
Uh-huh. So muttering is a verb, and to mutter is means basically to it means to like say something but not clearly, right? Ruki and Keen. So it means like, for example, this is muttering. If I do this, if I'm talking like this, right? You see what I mean? Like I'm not fully opening my mouth, so that's to mutter. It's like you're saying something. Like right now, I'm saying something to you, but you can't really understand
Oh,
what I'm
it's
saying.
like someone.
When you're eating something at the same time you are talking.
But that, yeah,
Yeah,
that could be one possible. Yeah, that's one possible
yeah.
scenario. Rukia, you were also saying something, I think.
Yeah, someone resisting that what is eating in the mouth, and at the same time want to utter
That's right.
some
Yeah,
words. Yeah.
yeah. So that's to mutter. So that's exactly what it means. It's basically you're like doing something else, like you're eating, like you were both saying you're eating, for example, and at the same time you're muttering. You're like saying things, but it's hard to tell what you're actually saying. Like it's very hard to make out. Like you might be able to understand what I'm saying, but it's very you need to really like pay attention to what it is. So that's to mutter. To mutter is to say something not fully or not clearly, basically because you're doing something else at the same time. Maybe you're eating, for example. So
Okay, the
that's to
other one
mutter.
is belatedly.
Belatedly,
Belatedly.
yes, I remember it. I saw it somewhere. I just never remember it. Tell me the paragraph and
Fourth
sentence.
sentence, second paragraph. Fourth sentence.
Fourth sentence. Fourth sentence.
Yeah,
Ah, belatedly.
belatedly.
There it
Start here.
is. Yes. Thank you, Rukia. Okay. So when those who have learned belatedly make up for lost time. Okay. So what is there anything in that word that can help us understand its meaning or its position in the text? So we usually try to look for position in the text, right? So position in the sentence, because the position in the sentence will usually tell us what that word is doing. What is the role of that word? So in this specific case, belatedly is an adverb. So that means it's telling us it's describing an action. So something happens belatedly, right? So
Is it carelessly?
say that again, Rukia.
Carelessly.
Carelessly?
Carelessness.
No, it's not carelessly, Rukia, but it's a good attempt. It's a good attempt. So something that it's learned belatedly, right? That's what it's telling us, that they learned
It's
something.
something that you want to say it, but you will have been informed at a late time.
Yes, Keen, you have been
Yeah,
informed at a late time. That's a good
yeah,
attempt. Yeah, because there's late. You see late, right? Inside.
right, yeah.
So be late, belatedly. So it means something that's happened with
In
delay.
a late time.
That's
Yeah.
right. At a later time. Yep. Good. That's a really good inference. That's nice, Keen. Good
Because
job.
we see that in the story, it says that Alan's, it is the same story on the eighth and the fourth day.
Uh-huh.
When those who have been when those who have been learned belatedly, so that we
Uh-huh.
can understand that this one is talks about in late time.
That's right.
It
Yep.
has been this issue. It has been it talks about in a place where that somebody has been dead, and this death has been taken with a late time to be buried for it, so that it describes like in a late time.
Yep. That's correct. Yep. It's been learned at a later time, basically, and not necessarily at first, but at a later time. That's right. So belatedly, Rukia. That's what it is. It's at a later time. That's a really good one too. That's a really good word. So you could use this now. You could use this word in your own writing now that you know it. Like you, for example, you could say that something happened belatedly, right? So again, it happened at a later time, not necessarily like learning, for example, oftentimes happens at a later time, right? It doesn't always happen in the moment of instruction. Sometimes it happens later. Student might understand things at a later time, so belatedly. Any other words, Ruki or Keen? I see Ruki. I see you
So,
unmuted yourself.
yeah, waistlines
Waistlines,
and
okay.
and the new brazier, the new brazier,
Brazier. So
brazier.
brazier, I mean new, of course. Ruki, so I'm not underlining new. Brazier, waistline. I remember seeing it at waistlines. There they are. Waistlines. Keen, you were also saying something. You were also saying a few words, maybe. Am I wrong?
Forward. You
Keen,
have said what? Repeat again.
say that
Yes.
again. Which were you saying a few words too that you wanted to know the meaning of? That you were unsure of the meaning?
Heavy smell of
Yeah. Can you explain about new brazier?
Yeah, I will. I will. Okay. So basically, waistlines and brassiere. So waistlines. So what's the
waistline,
Yeah.
waist of the person.
Yes, the waistline of the person. That's correct, Rukia.
And then there is
Yeah.
that dressing of those people who are coming there.
Yeah, people who are born, yeah.
Yeah, to an extent that their
New
waist
brazier is just
brazier is like that.
yes,
According to the sentence.
yeah.
Now I can understand that brazier is that clothes worn by maybe is it the ladies?
That's correct, Rukia. That's correct. It's worn by ladies.
And then there is that light attire showing of maybe those people coming were dressed with light clothes. And then some of those clothes is in the west, maybe west lines, is those lines within the west, the attire that they have worn through the
Yes.
west.
So you know, Rukia and Kin, you know how if you're wearing a dress, right? If you're wearing a dress, you can see the waistline of a person. So
Yeah.
that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. So because these people are wearing light attire, so light clothes, you can see the lady's waist, and you can see their new brassieres.
Good. Yeah. Even in the culturally, when there is wedding, the Somali community women they do attire some of the best clothes that are very light and they can even be seen even.
Yeah.
They are good.
So
Within that room, it is only, but luckily it is only female.
Yeah.
Those who are inside that, there is no male who will encounter, who will come
That's right.
accompany those girls. It
That's
is
right.
only themselves. They take photos, they dance, they play. You should not be accompanied by any man.
That's
And that
correct.
is the
Yeah.
best clothes, very expensive. Yeah.
Fair enough. So you understood then. I think you understood all the words then. Waistlines, brassiere. Now they all make sense.
Yeah.
Anything
Yeah,
else?
I understand. I understand.
Perfect, Rukia. Thank you. Keen or Rukia, any other words that are like that you were
Yeah,
unsure
the
of?
other one is I know institutionalized,
Institutionalized,
joyous. Yeah,
and institutionalized as well.
yeah, joyous. Is it
Just
Joyous
joyous.
came from
joyous is like
for
joy?
joyful.
Yes.
Joyous came
I
from
heard.
joyful.
Yes, comes from joy. Yes, it was Keen, right? It was you. It was
Yeah.
Keen. Yes, that's right.
Yeah, institutionalized it means a customers or the culture.
That's correct. Yep. Yeah, something that's institutionalized is something that's ritualized. So it's a ritual.
Customers
It's
or culture.
yeah, it's something that's born out of culture or social practices, something that's done repeatedly. So it's institutionalized, it's custom, it's a cultural. And joyous, correct, also, or like just it's similar to joyful. So it's a joyous event means that something that, or joyous festivity means it's something that inspires lots of joy, lots of happiness as well. Anything else? Anything else that you see?
Yeah, the other one is trails.
Trails. Yeah, I remember seeing it. There it is. Trails in the last paragraph.
No sitting. No
Nauseating. Yeah,
sitting.
nauseating. Yep, nauseating.
No
Yeah, that one.
sitting.
Uh-huh.
And then painstaking.
Painstaking. Yeah, those ones are a little bit more
And
difficult.
then crumbled pepper. Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with trails. So the smell of stale sweet and food blend as trails in the air. Yeah, unpleasant and nauseating. So trails to trail is you might have. So I don't know if you've ever heard the. So in this case, obviously it's a noun. It's usually to trail something is a verb, but in this case it's used as a noun. So it's trails of something. So it means something that's left there, something that is left in the air. You know, like an in this case specifically an aroma, a smell, right?
It says that food blended as a trace in the air.
Yeah.
So that this person has been, there is a lefted food which has been taken for a place. And then this person has been taken with something.
Yeah. So
That's what the way I've understood.
Is it spreading in the air? A
yeah,
trail.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
spreading. It's
yes,
spreading in
in
the air.
air.
Correct. Yes, it's spreading in the air,
Yeah,
and it's basically left some traces of the spread in the air. So like trails are like traces in a sense, right? So they're like little bits of the smell
Trails. Maybe it remains. Yeah. It
that
is.
remain in the air.
It is
Correct. Yeah, yeah,
rotating. It is in the
that's
air.
right. Uh-huh. And so these smells in the air, these trails of the smell that have been left, are unpleasant
Unpleasant.
and nauseating. So Ruki and Keen, have you either of you been have you are both of you are mothers, right? Is that correct?
Huh?
no,
Where?
no.
No, neither one of you are.
Where is
Yeah,
that?
Ruby has been married.
Wait, I didn't hear. So Keen, are you a mom? No.
No, I'm
Tell
not
me.
married.
Pardon. Pardon. What have you said?
I asked Rukia if either one of you is a mother.
Yeah.
You are, right, Rukia? Okay.
Yeah.
So when you were pregnant, Rukia,
Mm.
you probably experienced a lot of nausea. Is that correct?
Yeah.
A lot of
Yeah.
Yeah, this nausea comes from when a mother is pregnant and vomiting.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. You
yeah,
vomited a lot, right?
Maybe.
yeah.
Yeah. It is that dislike. Yeah.
That
That's
one is
Of
correct.
for
certain
morning
things.
sickness. Morning sickness. When a
Yes,
mother
morning
having for morning
sickness.
sickness. Yeah.
Correct. Morning sickness.
So sitting is like the situation of the person not feeling well or with that kind of things
Yep,
maybe smelling around
that's
or
correct.
either food.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's correct.
You have that dislike of certain things, either any of the things that you don't like. It
That's correct.
diverse, it depends. Yeah, may some other people may like something when you have that dislike of that food or either
Yep.
perfume or anything. Yeah,
So nauseating means a smell that's really, really, really like it's bothering you a lot, and it
yeah,
leads you
it
to
is
vomiting.
something that's not pleasing you at all.
No, at all. So that's nauseating. That's nauseating.
Nauseating. Yeah,
That's a
I
smell that's
knew nausea, but nauseating when it is added that
ED.
yeah. It,
yeah,
it made it more difficult, right? It seemed like a
it
different
makes
word.
something else. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Nauseating. Yeah. Ting.
yep. So Rukia and Keen, this is for both of you. I actually saw Chachumba join quickly as well, but this for everyone who's here. Uh, a good technique to be able to infer meaning. So infer meaning means to be able to tell a meaning of a word that you don't necessarily know, right? A good technique is usually to go by pieces of words as well. So sometimes, like you just said, Rukia, you saw nausea within nauseating, and you know the meaning of nausea. So because you know the meaning of nausea, like you can kind of infer. It doesn't mean that you are 100% sure, but you can kind of tell that it has something to do with nausea. So therefore, with someone vomiting or someone having not feeling well, right? So then you can kind of make out the meaning of words without necessarily having to even look at the dictionary. Of course, you then can look at the dictionary, and you should look at a dictionary to be able to learn new words. But At the same time, it can help you, these techniques, like looking at words inside, like nausea and nauseating, or looking at late, like Keen, you did this before when you said late and belatedly, right? So looking at these little parts of words sometimes is a technique that can help us tell words that we don't necessarily know, right? So it can kind of help us understand the meaning of words that we haven't come across before. And so similarly, let's see if you guys, if you ladies get the last one, painstaking. So painstaking. Do you see any words in painstaking that you are familiar with?
No, we only know that pain and then taking, so they
Okay,
are joined
so
together,
yeah,
and
so
it makes maybe different meaning.
it gives it a different meaning, of course, Rukia. But you do know pain, right?
Bent, yeah.
Yeah, pain.
Yeah,
So what is
according to the text, maybe the pain and the taking that we knew may not be in this within the context of this sentence. Yeah, maybe it can have some other meaning according to the
That's
text.
true.
You only conserve, you only look at how the sentence is structured and the meaning within that particular text. Yeah.
Absolutely. So and that's another technique, Rukia. So you look at where the word is placed in the sentence. Absolutely. So let's see where it's placed. My tiles, kept with such painstaking care, are blackened, right? So the tiles, so the floors, right? The floors, the tiles are like the pavements, right, of the floor. That this person kept with such care, right, are now blackened. So painstaking is an adjective of care, right? Is an adjective of care. Painstaking care. So it's a way to, it's a type of care that she's giving the floor. So she cares a lot about the floor. That's what she's saying, right? So painstaking means that you take so much care of something that it almost, it's like that care, taking care of it almost brings you pain. That's how much you care about it, right? So like painstaking care means that like you take such good care that you scrub the floors continuously. I'm sure if I'm sure some of you are familiar with that because some of you clean at home. I'm guessing a lot of you do house chores, right? Rukia,
Kind of.
Keen, you do
Yeah,
house
we
Is it
chores,
do.
right?
Yeah. Yeah,
So
ladies, man, I must do.
so
That's our
so
job greater. Yeah,
yeah,
our
of course.
JD.
Yeah, so when you clean the floors, it's tiring, right? It's tiring to
Yeah.
take care of the house, right? It's really tiring
Yes.
to have to do that. So that's why it's painstaking. It's painstaking because it's tiring. It brings us pain. It brings us so much tiredness, so much pain. And yet we care for it. So we want our house to look good. I mean, we want our house to be clean because it's important that our house is clean. So it's a painstaking care that we take. It's a care that still brings us pain, right? It brings us tiredness, it brings us pain. So that's why it's the tiles, the pavements of the house are kept with painstaking care. So like a lot of care, a lot of care, so much care that it tires us and it hurts us. By the
I
end,
think this one, the author is narrating maybe there were some ceremonies that were held, and then when the house got emptied and everything was in mess, people now the
yes,
lady or the person who's doing the cleaning is messed up with collecting nuts, cleaning the
that's right.
walls, tiles. Yeah, she has a lot to do.
That's exactly it, Rukia. So she had a party, right? It was actually not a party, but it was a funeral. It's a funeral, right? Which takes like a lot of people came over. She had food, and then basically what happened is that's right that the house that she takes so much care in cleaning, right? So painstakingly care she takes of it, like painstaking care of this house. Like it was so clean, and now it's all dirty, blackened. The floors are black. There's trails of food everywhere, right? People walking
Oh,
around. So that's painstaking. Painstaking just means basically a care, like so much care, like a lot of care that it tires us and it hurts us. And then crumpled paper, the last one that you identified. So crumpled means so it's a piece of paper, a ball of crumpled paper means, you know, when you take a piece of paper and you just crumple it, you make it into a ball.
Tissue papers, right? Oh.
Say that again, Rukia.
Just like a
Tissue
tissue paper.
papers. When we say tissue papers, or when
And you,
people are given these tissue papers, they don't even keep that on the table. They just scramble and then they throw beside them.
that's
That
exactly
is
it. Yep.
not good.
Yep.
Yeah,
Keen,
most
you,
of these
yeah,
people
that's
who
right,
are
Rukia.
in
Yeah,
funerals go.
That's right. That's right, Rukia. Keen, you were saying something too, I think. I heard your voice in the background.
yeah, I've said that it's just like a tissue paper.
Yeah, exactly. It's a tissue paper that has been thrown on the side on the floor, right? Just like used and then thrown on the side. So it's crumpled. It's old. It's been used. It's been used before, right? Okay. I think we picked out quite a few words already that we were finding difficult. Now is actually the next part of the exercise is I actually have to admit to you something, that these paragraphs are not in order. They've actually been shuffled. They've been rearranged. So this is not how they would appear in the text. In the text, they appear differently in the original text. I've just rearranged them and put them in a way that doesn't necessarily make sense. So the three paragraphs basically are not in order. Now, how do we know what the order is? Where would you look at to understand what the order is of these three paragraphs? If I were to tell you, okay, put them back in order. And first of all, did you notice, actually even before that, did you notice that they were not in order? When you were reading it, did you notice that there's something off about the text? Or did it make sense, or does it make sense to you in this way?
Yeah, when you read it, according to my understanding, let me talk. And this is the exact way of arranging order, according to my understanding, because in this is a you see that Maharazin alighting. I see an old woman. Who is she? So that this will be in the first paragraph and to be there. So that this is the first topic or the first highlight. Then the second one will be standing upright. Her eyes are maintained. My disobvious. So that we can say that this is the body which describes all of the meaning that or continue about the importance or what things about and the barrier, because he has been said that a lady death, and she has been explained all of this, so that
Hmm.
this will be the last point, which says that generally the house was empty. It means that this lady has been died and has been buried, so that this house was an empty, and there is no anybody who the person who's belonged to this house was been died and was been taken to the grave and was been buried. So that the place where was been buried, we have been seeing that here is saying about the 8 and the 14 days, when those who have been learned was belated up for the lost time, so that we can see that the barrier was been described in the body. According to my understanding, this is the exact way of arrangement. I don't know the Ruqya. Thanks all.
Thank you, Keen. Rukia, what about you? What do you think?
And are you saying we the sentence are not rearranged, so we rearrange according to the first and the last?
Correct, Rukia. What I'm saying is that the paragraphs, not the sentences themselves are in order, but the paragraphs, the three paragraphs, are in different order. Might be in different order. Keen suggested that she thinks that they're in the right order, the way they are right now, and she provided us with some really good motivations for it as well. So she identified, if you can tell, I highlighted in green the areas that Keen identified.
Yeah.
So she said that the part here at the beginning, I see an old woman, introduces the older woman, who then is the same older woman that is referenced later in the second paragraph. So that tells her, that tells her that these are in the right order. And then finally, gradually the house empties, according to Keen, reveals that basically this is the conclusion of the event. However, this is Keen's interpretation. Yeah. So this, you might have a different interpretation. Do you think they're in order, or do you think they're not in order? There's something that's off about the organization of these paragraphs.
Yeah, and I can say that the second paragraph is the first paragraph, standing upright, her eyes meeting my disapproval. And then the second one is my horizon lighten. And then the third one is gradually the house empties.
Gradually the house empties. So you still leave gradually the house empties, the third one. And
yeah,
then, but
the
you
last
switch,
one is the gradually house.
I see. What is about the last paragraph? So the third paragraph, because both Keen and Ruki.
I can say the last paragraph is this one, gradually the house empties. And then the first one, I said standing upright, her eyes meeting my disapproval. Yeah, and then the second one is my horizon lighten, because you can see this one. The second one, we can see women who are living back to their families, and they are collecting something. And the third one is when the person has been buried and the guest left, and the owner of the house is ready to clean. Yeah.
Okay, so
and the first one is when the scenario is happening, standing upright, her eyes meeting my disapproval. The paragraph starts, she matters between her teeth, all and someone is narrating, and death. Yeah, that is according to my understanding.
That is according to your understanding, Rukia. Thank you, Rukia. Chipchumba keeps leaving. I thought I had her for a second.
Yeah, she has a connectivity problem. She has been communicated with me.
I know, it's very unfortunate.
The reason why I have said that general the house is empty is about, it means that this person has been buried on, and there is a here which says that the status is sweet and the food blended at a tier. It means that these days a food which has been make them unable to be, or which has been make them for almost some days there. People has been left there, and everything has been ended. The owner of that house or that person has been died, and the one which has been buried on. That's the way I have,
that's the way you've understood
saying
it.
that, and here and there have been left red status. Yeah.
Yeah. No. And
that's why.
Thank you for providing me with the motivations as well, both you and Rukiakin, because it's good to give the reasons why you're thinking a specific way, right? Because it's important to show why you're thinking that, not necessarily just what you're thinking, but why you're thinking that. So that it's really good that you gave me some evidence of it. So you see, you both of you are reading gradually the house empties as the final paragraph, which is interesting. So I wonder what it is about that paragraph. If we look at the words themselves, what it is about that paragraph that is communicating to you, to both of you, that is the final paragraph of the text. Is there specific words in there that give you the impression that this has to be the final paragraph? Are there any specific words that you like you're thinking that you're using as a way to reference to be able to justify, well, it has to be the final paragraph because it has these words? You know what I mean? Like these words suggest it's the final paragraph.
No, for my side, this is the way I've explained it, is the correct as my idea. So that we will wait for you also a guideline.
Yeah, no, that's
for my
fine.
side.
Yeah. It is according to my understanding, in one word, the last paragraph is end of the farewell party of the death.
Okay. So like if you had to summarize it, you're saying, Rukia.
If I am to summarize, maybe according to my idea.
the idea. No, you said that that was your main idea. That was the main idea of the text. You said, right, Rukia? That's what you were telling me. That's the main idea of the final paragraph is the death.
The main idea of the paragraph is about the farewell party.
Yeah, that's what you were saying. No, I understood.
Yeah.
I understood that correctly. So that's why you're placing it last. Is that why you're placing it last, Rukia?
Yeah. What else am I to say? Do you wanted to let me make a summary?
No, Rukia. No, absolutely not. No, don't worry. No need for a summary
I
right now.
think this one is for rearranging order and
Yeah.
explain about the main idea, the keywords or the new words, so that to be done for rearranging.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
correct.
already I've explained. It is the farewell party that has been conducted when the person has been buried, and
That's correct. Yep.
those guests of honors coming from different places, the families, maybe the relative, have been conducted some festivals or burial ceremony, and then when the burial ended, then none of the remainder of the house is cleaning all those rubbishes and everything that has been scattered all over the compound.
Yep.
And she's getting hard time to clean those tiles and the walls and everything from the cleaning. Maybe it is cleaning of those rubbish and collecting those rubbish and cleaning in generally the house from those and that have been uh, conducted throughout the festival. People have gathered there, and the ceremony in general ended. It is now the cleaning in conclusion of the compound of the deceased person.
That's a really that's a correct interpretation, Rukia. Both you and Keen are providing the correct interpretation. Can you give just 2 minutes, Rukia and Keen, because I see Professor Dlamini has joined us for a second. I think if you can give me you can have just a 2-minute break just for a second, and I just want to Nambuso.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. There's no one from your group in on the link.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if they got my link or not.
They did. I sent it to them. So
Okay.
I don't know why. I'll write to them right now.
Not to worry. I have lots of work to do, Miko. If they don't show up, I'll continue working.
Let me message them again just to remind them that you're waiting. I don't know if perhaps they forgot. I don't know. So let me see. Okay, I'll message them again.
Okay, so I'm gonna jump out of here and then go and start the link again because they might try and hop. Yeah, I had to come out of my link to join you and ask. Okay.
Yeah, that's
right. Sorry for the disturbance. Okay, no, I won't do it again.
It was nice to see you, Namuso.
Okay. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning too.
And goodbye.
Bye to
okay,
you.
bye to you. Nice to meet you too and to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
Okay. Apologies for that, Rukia, Keen, and Chipchumba. Chipchumba, I see that you're there. Hopefully she can actually hear us. Okay, I hope Chipchumba can actually hear us. Okay, Rukia and Keen. So what we were saying is, so you both gave your interpretation of the text, which is, by the way, is a perfect interpretation of the text of what happens. Chipchumba, I can hear you, I think.
Yes, I can also hear you. I'm very sorry for in and out.
I know.
My network is unstable, and additionally, the laptop password just expired. So I'll be talking to Colin some other time so that he can reset it.
Okay, sounds good. Chipchumba, so
I'm using my mobile right now.
Okay, so don't worry. You can, if you want to, just listen in and then just intervene whenever you want.
Yeah.
Go for it. I just wanted to tell you
that
we're just going through the text, and we're seeing if we're just looking
at
whether it's in the right order or not. That's what we're looking at, and we're trying to find out why that is, why it isn't, or why it isn't in the right order, according to what. So for the moment, Ruki and Keen just gave their interpretations. And what we were saying is that the interpretations were perfect. Both Keen and Rukia, you did a good job of really capturing what the text is about. So it is about a burial ceremony. Like you said, people came, they ate, they talked, they stayed there, they sang, they had music, and then by the end, the person is left with having to clean the house. That is all very true. But there is a but.
Yeah.
But the but is that they're not right in the correct order, and I will the way they are right now. Rukia, you suggested that they might be that the first paragraph might be that the second paragraph might be the first paragraph, and that is also not necessarily correct. And I will explain to you why and what to look at. So we can start with. So we started with the third paragraph is the one that both of you, Keen and Rukia, agreed that it was the last paragraph, right? So in fact,
Yes.
the third paragraph is the first paragraph. And I can tell you why that is. So I'll tell you why. So if we look at the beginning of the third paragraph, right, which is gradually the house empties, right? So
Hello?
yes, Chepchumba. Is that you or Keen? Chipchumba?
I think it's Chipchumba who says that. Hello.
Yeah, Chipchumba. Thank you, Keen. Chipchumba, did you want to say something?
Hello?
Yes. Chipchumba, can you hear me?
Hello?
Yes, Chipchumba. I think she's having issues with the audio, probably. I don't think she can hear me. Okay. I'll just have to mute Chipchumba for the moment. Sorry about that. So, Keen and Rukia, we were saying, and Chipchumba, if you can hear me, hopefully. So the last paragraph we said is actually, I said is the first paragraph, and I will tell you why in a second. So we would take this, and we'd actually bring it up here. Now, you were right in suggesting that you usually do the cleaning at the end of the party, and in fact, this is what is happening. So the people have left. Gradually, the house empties. The smell of stale sweat and food blended trails in the air, unpleasant and nauseating. Cola nuts spat out here and there have left red stains. My tiles, kept with such painstaking care, are blackened. Oil stains on the walls, balls of crumpled paper. What a balance sheet for a day. So she's describing, you're right, Rukiankin, she's describing what has happened. So basically, there's a mess everywhere because people were there, right? But she's saying gradually the house empties. What does that's important, this first sentence, because it's the topic sentence of the paragraph, right? So it's telling us what has happened, that the house is emptying, right? And it's emptying gradually. So it's slowly emptying. So it's not empty yet. It's slowly emptying, right? That's what gradually means, that it's slowly emptying. So people are slowly leaving, right? You know, when you're at a ceremony, right? You're at a ceremony, people don't just all leave together, right? They slowly leave. Some people leave a little bit earlier, some people leave a little bit later. And so basically by the end, the house is empty, but not yet. There's still some people in the house. Does that make sense?
Okay, you mean this gradually is making some bigger explanation, because we are seeing gradually, maybe immediately or the house get empty. Is narrating.
Say that again, Rukia. Sorry.
Maybe she's saying gradually, maybe slowly by slowly, the house empties.
That's right.
has not emptied. Now it has not been reached that time. Maybe she's she's talking of something that has not come to an end. Maybe as time goes, maybe she's talking something future. Slowly by slowly, the house empties.
Yes, that's correct, Rukia. So
That
slowly the
things
house
will have been done. The cleaning will come. Yeah,
yeah,
that is what you said.
that's right. The cleaning hasn't happened yet. The cleaning hasn't happened yet. It has to happen, but it hasn't happened.
But I was asking, how will you recognize? Maybe the sentences, the first one to the last one. How will you come to understand the meaning? How will it help me? Which word will help me to
It's
get the
this one
picture?
right here. It's this one right here, the Rukia. Gradually the house empties. That you see that very first sentence? That's the key sentence of that paragraph. And then the next, the other key part is this one right here. You see them? So I'm highlighting them in purple. Can you Rukianki, can you see them? The three topic sentences?
Yeah, we see them in
Yeah,
pink.
we can see it.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. So when we look at a paragraph, right? The first thing we look at is the topic sentence of a paragraph. So it's the first sentence of a paragraph. In a good structure, in a good paragraph structure, which is, we can have a look at it right down here. This is a good paragraph structure, right? Can you all see it? So we have a topic sentence, right? And then we know that the next sentences will just be evidence or descriptions of the topic sentence. And then we have a concluding sentence. A concluding sentence is usually a sentence that, as the word says, concludes. So it brings to an end that paragraph, and usually transitions to the next paragraph, right? So if we think of this organization of a paragraph, which is important because we always have to think about paragraphs in this structure, right? So topic sentence, evidence, concluding sentence. So if we think about this structure and bring it back here, now we see that the topic sentences of each paragraph are connected, right? So gradually the house empties. So slowly the house becomes empty. Slowly the house is slowly people are leaving the house. My horizon lightened. I see an old woman. What does my horizon lightened mean? My horizon lightened means that my horizon is my field of view, my field of vision, right? So it's the way it's what I see. So lightened means that it's less crowded now. So because my horizon is less crowded, because my view is less crowded now of the house, I can see an old woman, right? So something has to have happened before that in order for me to be able to see the old woman. Does that make sense, Rukiankin? So something has to happen.
Yeah, but the reason.
Tell me, Kin.
Yeah, the reason why I have said that in first paragraph will be my horizon lighting. I see an old woman is that, and this person has been seen an old woman who is she that wanted to be in a carrying with a bow, so that this an old woman, when he see it, and she was carrying an empty into the planted in a bag which has left it over of a rice, so that we can say that when you are witnessing for a place and for seeing that and a crowd of people coming together, and you see that all the person who tells you a new story, this person, I realized it from my understanding, this person and realized that is the one which carrying for this old woman carrying from the and a real expectation about the this death coming from that family. That's why I have made it. Then the reason why I've made it for the second sentence is about because it's the body. That one it's not, it is officially. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the reason why,
Sorry, Keen, if I can just stop you for 1 second and then you can continue.
Yeah.
In fact, you're
Okay.
right. That second paragraph, standing upright, it is about the
Yeah.
body of the woman. So you're
Yeah.
absolutely right. That one comes after. You're absolutely
Yeah.
right. In fact, you're right. That order is correct. It's just that first paragraph that both of you missed. Both you and Rukia. You were sorry, Keen, and I'll let you continue.
Okay. Yeah, that's what, for my understanding, is what that's the way I have understood that, because although this old woman has been explaining us about the death of the lady, the everything and all of this, and this person, this is the author is the one which explains about that an old woman. So that's the reason why I say that roses the lighten I see in an old woman. That's the reason why I've made it in the first paragraph.
I see. I see.
But now I understand it.
So the only reason, basically, the only reason I'm saying is why this is the first paragraph is because it doesn't make sense for a text to start this way. The text to start this way. My horizon lightened, because my horizon lightened means that my field of vision has what I'm seeing is less crowded now, right? But it's weird to start a text that way, because we don't know what happened before that in order for you to now see less people. So it makes more sense if before that we're given some context, right? So it's okay, what's happened? Oh, the house is emptying. The owner of the house, who is also the author, right? So she's seeing, now she can see all the stuff that's been left there. She can see the red stains, the crumpled papers, and all the mess that these guests left. And now also sees an old woman that was there the whole time, but she didn't see her before, right? She couldn't see her because there were too many people before. Now that the house is emptying, she sees the older woman who's there, right? And she's getting the food with the bag, in the plastic bag. And then the next paragraph, you're absolutely right, Keen. The next paragraph tells us, standing upright, her eyes meet my disapproving look. So now she's telling us, now it's about the bodies. Now it's about the interaction between the author and the old woman. So standing upright, right? She's standing upright while she gets back up because she was putting the red rice inside her plastic bag, right, to bring back home. So now that she stands upright, they see each other. Does that make sense? So basically, like, does that make sense how we used the topic sentence of each paragraph to understand the sequence of events, in a sense? Does that make sense, Keen and Rukia? Like how we use the topic sentences? Keen, I think you wanted to say something. I see your.
Yeah, I have understood it. So that the last paragraph will be in the horizontal line. I see in an old way will be the last paragraph. I have understand it now. Thanks.
So yeah, it would be gradually the house empties. 1, 2, my horizon
Standing
light.
upright.
Yeah, and then standing upright. Her eyes meet my disapproval. And then this, obviously, this is an extract of a text, so the text might continue afterwards. But in the interest of the exercise, this is the order that we're looking at. And so basically what we're doing is we're trying to use keywords in sentences to understand the way the sentence works. Sorry, to understand the way the text works, like the way the text is connected. That's what we're doing, right? So we can try another one. Let's try another one in the next one. Let's try this one here.
I think.
Tell me,
I
King.
will continue up to 4. I will continue up to 4 p.m.
We can continue up to, yeah, around 4 p.m. if that's okay with you, Keen. If that's okay with you, Keen, Rukia, and Chipchumba. If all of you are okay with it, we can continue up till around 4.
But
tell me,
But
Keen.
for me, I want to travel from the. I'm in the depth.
All right.
I want to travel from Agadera.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, Keen. So what we can do is, if you want, if how much longer can you stay? you have to leave right now?
Yeah, I will.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
I will stay the 20 minutes, up to 20 minutes by later now.
okay. So we'll end it in
Because
20 minutes.
when it is 3:40, that's the time I'm traveling.
Okay, sounds good, Keen. So we'll end it. We'll end at 3:40. We'll end at 3:40. Is that okay? Or a little bit earlier than that?
Okay.
Okay. We'll end at 3:40 for everyone, if that's okay. Ruki, I didn't hear from you, Ruki. Does the organization of the text make sense to you now? Like based on the topic sentences? Does that like as a way, as a tool to analyze text?
Yeah. It's clear.
It is clear?
Yeah.
Let's try a second exercise, like a second text, all three together, all of us together. So does anyone want to read? Otherwise I can also read the first paragraph if you want, and then we can, since you've already read. So okay, I'll start with this. So the power of books, this marvelous invention of astute human intelligence, various signs associated with sound, different sounds that form the word, juxtaposition of words from which brings the idea, thought, history, science, life, sole instrument of interrelationships and of culture, unparalleled means of giving and receiving. Books knit generations together in the same continuing effort that leads to progress. They enabled you to better yourself. What society refused you, be granted. Examinations set and passed took you also for
Please
granted.
mute.
Say that again, Keen. Sorry.
No, because there are some sounds coming up.
Yeah, I think it was from Chipchumba's end. Chipchumba, I muted you just to get rid of the sounds, the background sounds. Sorry. So the School of Interpreters, from which you graduated, led to your appointment into the Senegalese embassy in the United States. You make a very good living. You are developing in peace. As your letters tell me, your back resolutely turned on those seeking light enjoyment and easy relationships. And you left. You had the surprising courage to take your life into your own hands. You rented a house and set up home there. And instead of looking backwards, you looked resolutely to the future. You set yourself a difficult task. And more than just my presence and my encouragements, books saved you. Having become your refuge, they sustained you. Okay. So there are apologies for the background noise there. So there are two paragraphs here, right? Keen, Ruki, and Chachumba. There's two paragraphs here that we see. The first one that starts with the power of books, this marvelous invention of us to human intelligence. And then the second one starts, and you left. Are these paragraphs in the right order? And why? How do we know whether they're in the right order or if they're not in the right order? What would you look at? You can also, if you need some time to also just look through the text, go right ahead. So what are the two paragraphs about? So the first and the second paragraph, what are they about? I'm not sure if anyone is on mute because I can't really hear you. Keen, you might be on mute. I think you're trying to speak, but you might be on mute. And Rukia, both of you actually.
Yeah, and I was on mute because when you are reading and when somebody is reading, it is a difference. So that I'm reading with my arm, so that to do for explanation. Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Did you find like what did you do you have a response for my question, Keen? Did you figure out more or less what you think, which one the first and the second paragraph is? Like which one's first, which one comes second?
The first paragraph is that, and you left it, you had in the superior court, to taking your life into your own hands. And according to my understanding, the second one will be in the power of the book. The power of the book, this mirrors investigate of the status human intelligence will be the second.
Why would you say that, Keen? Yeah, thank you. Tell me why.
And the reason why I've said that is that in this one it talks about your life. It is the heading points that, and this one will be the heading point, and it talks about the heading thing. So that the power of the book will be the body. It explains more about what it is. It also talks about the school of interpreters. It talks about the examination. It also talks about the book kites or general together, all of everything. That's why I've said that this one will be second paragraph.
That's a really good explanation, Keen, for it, for the reason. So basically, you're saying that the first one is sort of almost like a premise, an introduction, and the second one is more of the body because it gives more of an explanation. Basically,
let us also wait our colleagues what they are saying. Cannot take a decision.
Rukia and Chipchumba, what do you think? Keen is also calling on you to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, and from the second paragraph.
Yes, Rukia.
Already, there is that the book safe.
Yes, Rukia, go ahead, Rukia. We can hear you a bit better now.
Yeah, and you left is something that there is that narration that was left halfway. Somebody is giving a narration, and then that narration, when the narration is over, then there is that relation what he had scooped from the book. So I think this one is the first one.
This one, right, Rukia? And you left. This one, you mean, is the first one?
The book save you.
Yeah.
Yeah. This, according to my idea, this one is the second.
This paragraph here, and you left, Rukia. This paragraph here is the second one, according to you. Second one. So it's in the, according to you, it's in the right order right now, the way they've been positioned. So the power of books is being the first, and you left being the second. I think that's what Rukia was saying. Chipchumba.
Yeah, that's what she has been saying.
Yeah, that's what I heard too, right, Kin? Chipchumba, are you able to contribute? Are you able to participate or no? Or there's too much, or are you able to?
Let me try if you can hear me.
Yes.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Perfect. Go, Chipchumba.
Having this text that it's gotten from a very big book, sometimes it gets very hard for you to figure out which one is going to come first, because the flow of the story, you may not be able to have that in mind. I could have picked the second paragraph to be the first line, but you know, in somewhere in study they say you can't begin a sentence or a paragraph with a conjunction. And you can see that word "and" and there. Leaving the word and aside, this second paragraph is introducing the main idea of the book. And then now the power comes on and expounds and explains and describes more about the ideas that are brought out by the first paragraph. But as you can see, I was only worried with the word "and." So if you're going to clarify that, maybe if it's acceptable at some point, then we're going to move by that.
Thank you, Chepchumba. Thank you for your response as well. So
yeah, thank you.
I will quickly. Keen, I know that you're in a rush because it's almost time, so I'll be really quick. So yes, both Keen and Chepchumba, you were correct in saying that the second paragraph is actually the first paragraph. It's actually the first paragraph, and you're right in suggesting that it introduces the idea of books. It introduces this idea of the power of books that can become a refuge for people, become a support for people, right? And then this idea is further explained and expanded in the second paragraph, which is the power of books, right? So it speaks more in detail about the power of books. In terms of the what threw you off, Chepchumba, the conjunction "and" at the beginning, you're right. Technically, grammatically speaking, it is mostly incorrect to start paragraphs with an "and" or start sentences with a conjunction. Conjunctions usually serve the purpose of bringing pieces together, so they're in the middle of sentences rather than at the beginning. So that might throw you off. You're right. However, it can happen in some cases in literature that authors take the freedom to begin a sentence with an "and." If provided, and this is a good point that you made, Chepchumba, provided that it is a continuation of a narration. So in that case, it might make sense to start it with an "and," but it's very rare. It's very rare, and grammatically, it is not considered the most correct form. So you're right. However, in this specific case, it suits the narration that it's happening. So I just wanted, before we close, because I know that Keen, I know you have to leave. So before we close, I just did want to point out a few things. So one way that we looked at to understand the logical sequence and flow of a text, as we said, is the topic sentence. So the topic sentence already tells us a lot about basically what the main topic of the paragraph is and how it connects to paragraphs before and after that. So if we look at the final sentence here, for example, you set a difficult task, and more than just my presence and my encouragements, books saved you. Having become the refuge, they sustained you. So we know that in this final paragraph, in this final sentence of this first paragraph, she's talking about books. The author is talking about books. This connects well to this first sentence right here, which is about the power of books, right? And explains a little bit better the power of books. If we also look at the rest of the paragraph, we see that the remaining part of the paragraph, sorry, I should put that in another color, actually, is about the continuation of the narration. So if we leave aside the first part of books, the rest is a continuation of the narration. It talks about this person, this friend of hers, right? The author is talking about a friend of hers. The books helped you. You became an interpreter. You did exams. You started working at the French embassy, the Senegalese embassy, and you're making a good living. So it actually provides a conclusion to what was said here, if you look closely, because here it said that you set yourself a difficult task. So she left. She had a difficult task ahead of herself, which was to remake a life for herself, and she has succeeded. She is now making a very good living. You are developing in peace. This tells us that this paragraph must come second, because the narrative that's continuing here is been concluded. So it finds a resolution. Keen, I know you have to leave because it's time. So if you can go ahead and leave. Don't worry. I'm just gonna take a few last questions from Rukia and Chepchumba if they have any last questions.
No.
But you're welcome to
No.
leave.
And although has been said that Chepchumba and the conjunction of "under," so that we can say that because this is the continuous paragraph, but it has been broken them sometimes in as a text. That's what made them to be confused. So although we have been confusing, but compared to before and now we are okay.
Okay. No, that's good. That's good to know, Keen. But it's not about. I can see why it can be confusing. But what we're trying to do is not so much just looking at these specific texts were taken from a larger text, so it adds a little bit of difficulty sometimes. I agree. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to build some tools, right? Like some tools for you to be able to look at a text and understand, and be able to summarize it and be able to understand how it flows. And this is important not just in reading but also in writing, because when we write we use the same kind of structure, right? We have to make sure that the paragraph we wrote above, it connects to the paragraph underneath, as well as the one above the middle one, and so forth. So we have to always make sure that when we're writing, the paragraphs have a topic sentence but have a concluding sentence that then connects to the next sentence of the second paragraph. That's what we're doing. We're looking at how we build paragraphs, basically how we build paragraphs and how we read them as well, to be able to summarize them. Okay.
Okay, so thanks. Me, I'm going.
I know. Keen. Go for it. Bye, Keen. Have a safe trip back to...
Bye. Today I'm very happy that to meet my girls.
Safe travels back to Agadera, Keen.
I say that today I'm happy to meet my girls with the same class, man.
I know. Today it's been an all girls class. I'm glad.
Yeah, girls class today.
Girl power today.
Okay. Safe journey. Bye bye.
Tell me, Rukia.
Take care.
Bye, Keen. Safe travels.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Rukia and Chipchumba, do you have any? I still have a few minutes if you want. So if you have a few questions,
maybe she can be leaving as we continue.
Yes, Rukia, that's what I was saying. If you have a few more questions and you want to ask, I still have a few minutes, so you're welcome to ask me a few questions, or if there's anything that you wanted to ask me, or anything that you were confused about, let me know.
Yeah, I say. Hello?
Yes, Rukia, I can hear you.
Are you getting me?
Yes.
Yeah. I was saying, like, when you want to rearrange text, you say the second one and the you left was the first one.
Yes, I did say that.
So we understand that these texts are continuation from a whole text, maybe a story or an essay.
That's right.
So
yeah.
How will you be able to identify whether this paragraph is the first and the other one is second? Are we looking the flow or the meaning of the text?
Correct, Rukia. We're looking at the flow and the
maybe
meaning.
Maybe you may not be understanding the text, the meaning of the text. Which keyword will help me? What am I supposed to look? Yeah.
Really, really good questions, Rukia. So the first thing you look at, so that this is what we did, no? So the first step is to look at the topic sentences, right, Rukia, of each paragraph, right? So the topic sentences of each paragraph already will tell us a lot. They'll tell us, for example, what the main idea of that paragraph is, right? So, and you left. What does that topic sentence tell us, Rukia, about this? What is this paragraph about? If you just read that first sentence. Rukia?
You said and you left.
Yeah. What if you just see that? If you just look at that first sentence of this paragraph, right? What does that tell you? What is this paragraph about? Just with that sentence, just with that first small sentence.
And you left is like the start of a sentence that there has been some other argumentation between another person. then it was your turn that you left maybe the place or yeah, something that you have been doing or reading. Yeah.
So this
That
person
thing
left.
that you left. Yeah, left.
So this, yeah,
It's that thing you abandoned. Yeah, you leave.
yeah, exactly. She left. To leave. Exactly. She abandoned. Right. So that's what. So that's how it starts. So basically, just by looking at that first sentence, just that first sentence tells us already that this paragraph here is about.
Yeah, you probably leave the sentence. Yeah, the meaning of that sentence will help you.
Exactly.
To come up with that.
Exactly. It gives us the meaning of the paragraph. Like not the meaning of the paragraph, but it gives us the main topic of the paragraph, right? What the paragraph is about. So it's about someone leaving. It's about someone leaving you. It's about this person. So the author is calling this person you. So you left. You had the surprising courage to take your life. You rented a house, and you looked to the future. You set yourself a difficult task. So she's talking to someone, right, Rukia? We know that much. The author is talking to someone, and this person that she's talking to left. She left. She had the courage to start over. She bought a house. She started over, right? The second this other paragraph, it starts with the power of books. So the power of books, it seems almost disconnected, right? But then if you look at the final sentence of the other paragraph, we see that final sentence of this paragraph introduces the idea of books. So we're looking at words, yeah, right? We're looking very closely at words in the paragraph. We're looking at what words are present. So in this case, books is present. Books saved you. And then from here, it continues. The power of books, this marvelous invention. And then it talks about books in detail and more about books.
Yeah.
And more about books and more about books. You see all the sentences? You see all the sentences, Rukia? They're all about books, right?
Yeah, we can see from the first paragraph, there is that book that the second one will talk much more.
Exactly.
Because once you say the book save you, which book? Then we are coming down the power of book.
That's
that
right.
Has saved power.
That's right, Rukia. That's right. Like
yeah. It is better you first understand. If you don't understand, then you may not come up which one is which and which one is coming first.
That's correct.
Yeah, understanding is the most essence, yeah.
That's correct, Rukia. And this is important, Rukia. This is not like, I mean, you won't, obviously, Rukia, you won't read text, like when you read a text, right? When you read a text, it won't be disorganized. It will be organized, right? So you don't have to do this yourself, like reorganizing. But the reason why we were doing this is because it's important to understand the logical flow of text, right? It's important that when we look at a text, we understand how it's flowing, how it's building its argument, right? And to do that, Rukia, what we do is we look at connectors. We look at keywords from each paragraph. So in this case, the keywords, the connectors are, like you said, books save you, right? So, and then over here, the power of books. So that's a connector. This part right here is a connector because we know that this paragraph here introduces books. Paragraph here talks about books, right? It talks about books a lot. All of this part is about books. So it's telling us much more detail, much more description about books. But then here it pauses. Yeah, here it pauses and it begins another piece. They enabled you to better yourself. What society refused you, they granted. Examination set and passed took you to France, the school of interpreters from which you graduated, etc., etc., etc. Here the subject becomes you again. Did you notice, Rukia? Rukia? I think it's prayer time, right?
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, continue.
Sorry, but in this part here, Rukia, then you can see that you have a lot of yous. You see that?
Yeah.
So we know that here in this part, she is resuming the narration that she left here, right? You see that?
Yeah.
So this is another way of reading of understanding the order, because if you look at what was said here about you, and you look at what was said here about this same person, in noticed that the information here must come afterwards in the narration, right? Why? Because here she's saying you make a very good living, you are developing in peace. So it tells us that this person has found peace, right, Rukia? This person has found peace. This person is now happier. She's doing well. While in this piece here, she had a difficult task, right? You see what I'm saying? So even narratively, even if we look at the narration, it makes sense that this paragraph must come second, because there's pieces of this, like there's pieces of this paragraph, the sentences of this paragraph tell us of the second piece of the story, basically, right? That was started in the first paragraph. And so if you had to summarize, Rukia, these two paragraphs now, right? If you had to summarize this text, what would the summary be? How would you summarize these two Rukia?
Yes.
If I know that you're starting to cook, right? You're starting to cook dinner.
You said what? I was just communicating to someone. Sorry.
Okay. Rukia, you tell me if you want to stop. You can stop here. There's no problem. I don't have a problem with stopping. So if you're busy, and you have to go, don't worry about it. We can stop the session here. You tell me, Rukia. What? Okay.
I know now it is time for prayer, and at the same time.
I know. So okay, so let's just stop here then, Rukia. Let's stop here, and that way you can proceed with prayer, and then you can continue with your chores as well. And then so let's just pause here. I think it's good enough. So just continue, Rukia. I'm going to send you feedback for the summaries that you wrote. Okay. I'm gonna send it to you by the end of this weekend, and then next week. Yeah, it would be good if you meet again.
Do we have an assignment to do?
Keep practicing concept mapping. Yeah, keep practicing.
Maybe you can send to me some texts. I will revise and
I will, Rukia.
The draft, yeah.
I will send you my feedback to the ones that
so that I practice.
Yes, Rukia, that sounds good. So what I will do,
the way I can see, I have some difficulties to understand. Maybe let me practice more text.
Okay. All right. Sounds good, Rukia. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any problem.
Practice is the best solution to everything, Rukia. So what I will do, Rukia, is I will send you feedback to the summaries that you sent me, and then I will send you a few more texts to analyze. I will send you a few more texts to summarize again. Okay? To practice with.
Yeah. Thank you.
No worries, Rukia. Have a wonderful evening. Okay? And enjoy your dinner.
The one I send you the larger summary making, maybe you can see if there is any correction to be done.
Okay.
Maybe I will revise and then you can send me back.
Okay, Rukia, just one final question: are these helping you? Do you find that summaries, text, these reading of text, is it helping you, Rukia? Do you find it's helping you?
Yeah, it is very much helping me in writing. Maybe initially I did not have any idea of making notes and taking notes, and again mind mapping, concept map.
I'm glad.
Only essence is how I will be doing the handwritten for the concept map. Maybe another time you can be sending me some
text. Yeah, I will.
Some text to do, and again this one rearranging for official purposes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll send you a few of these as well, Rukia. I'll send you a few to rearrange as well if you find them useful to understand the flows of text. I'll send you a few of these examples too, Rukia, to practice on.
Do we have any due date for any assignment? Maybe.
Just try to, Rukia. What I'll do is as soon as I send you the text, which I will send them to you by tomorrow. Just try to work on them during the week, Rukia. Try to work on them as much as you can.
Maybe, yeah, if you have assignments, we are supposed to be doing and it is too late, you can be sending us through WhatsApp for a reminder.
Yeah, but there is nothing late. Don't worry, Rukia. There is nothing late. Absolutely, there is. You've done all the work so far, and all the rest of the work that I will be sending you is due during the week. Like you can work on it during the week whenever you have some time. Okay, so don't worry about it. There's no due date, no incoming due dates. Like there's nothing that's been due that you didn't like finish or nothing of that sorts. So don't worry about it. You're perfectly on schedule.
Okay, thank you,
Bye,
Mwalimu.
Rukia. Have a great, wonderful evening. See you next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Okay.
That's all.